everyone, welcome back. I'm Daria if you're new to my channel, and in today's practice we will explore moving from love. I think that often we lose sight of the joy and the love for our movement practice, and so this class is about reconnecting to that. If you do have a couple of yoga blocks, I would recommend grabbing some and having them available at the top of your mat, or just something that's a kind of similar shape and size. And whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll get started today in Supta Baddha Konasana. So find your way down to lie on your back. As you roll down, connect the soles of your feet and let the knees surrender fully to gravity. You can relax the back of your heart and the back of your head. And then take one hand to the low belly and one hand to your heart. Close your eyes. Give yourself a moment here to melt down. Imagine your body is getting heavier. And let all the dust that's collected from the day or from the previous week or month or year begin to settle now and just dropping in. Start to become aware of your breath and feel the breath move beneath your palms so that it fills up the low belly, between the ribs, and then all the way up into the heart space. Every time that you exhale, let your knees get heavier, let your outer hips relax, and release any tension or clenching from the inner groin, the inner thighs. Start to smooth the breath, working through any kinks or any places where you find the breath gets caught with softness and compassion. And begin now to consider what it means to you to move from love. I think often it's easy for us to consider the movement practice as something where we're working toward a goal or an outcome. Often we're tracking some kind of a metric toward progress, or we're following guidelines or rules. And while this can be helpful and encouraging in deepening our practice, it can also cause us to lose the joy and the love around the movement itself. And so today's practice is about reconnecting to that intrinsic joy, reconnecting to how good it feels just to move and to move intuitively from the inside out. Take 3 more breaths here and let each one be deeper than the one before it. If you need any kind of a clearing sigh, exhale through the mouth. Let go of anything you don't need. Begin to blink your eyes open. Take your hands to your outer thighs and softly close the knees back together. Draw the knees in toward your chest and take a couple rocks up and down the length of your spine. Feel your core activate and feel the sides of your spine getting a nice massage here with the body weight. After a couple of rolls, you can come all the way up, cross the ankles, roll over your shins, and find your way into a tabletop. Draw the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. We'll begin with some thoracic spine circles. So we're isolating just the middle part of the back. Begin by sinking the base of your ribs down toward the mat, as though the back of your heart is melting through the front of your heart all the way down toward the earth. Then start to contract into the right side body as you glide the rib cage over toward the right. Contract into the left side body, expand the right ribs. Then press straight down into your palms. Close the ribs, draw them together, and press the front of your heart to the back of your heart all the way up to the sky. Finally, slide the rib cage over to the left, contract the right side body. And then go again in this direction. You can move a little more quickly now that you know where you're going. Begin by softening the ribs, then press the ribs over toward the right side of your mat. Puff up the back of your heart, claw into your fingertips, and then glide the ribcage over toward the left. Soften back down through center, and then take 2 circles in the opposite direction. Try to feel for the ribcage and the middle back, making these circles so the pelvis stays relatively neutral and the breath stays deep and full. One more circle. Good. Find your way back to neutral in the spine. Take your left knee a little more toward the center of your mat. And as you breathe in, reach your right toes to the back. As you exhale, glide your right knee all the way through to connect to the tricep. See how high you can bring the knee. And then inhale, kick back. Exhale, cross your right knee behind the left one. Tap it down to the earth. Inhale, extend, right toes kick back, hips stay square. Exhale, hug right knee in towards your tricep. Inhale, kick. Exhale, right knee behind the left, touch down. One more time. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, squeeze, wrap your core in towards your back body. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right knee taps down behind the left. This time stay. Widen your feet. You can bring the top of the right foot down and you're creating like a V shape between the ankles. From here, just make some big sweeping circles or sweeping movements of some kind into the hips. So you're gliding the hips all the way back towards your heels and then reach them forward to the top of your mats. Try to move in both directions, and if circles aren't working for you, you can do more like a figure 8 shape, or maybe a spinal movement feels better for you than the hip circles. That's great, so just go with whatever is feeling good and working in your body. Good, now start to shift the hips all the way back. Find a seat at the back of your mat. Keep the left knee threaded on top of the right one. You might crawl your feet a little further away from each other. And if this is uncomfortable for you to sit like this, you can slide a block between the knees for a little more support, or maybe place a block beneath the sitting bones. Wherever you are, feel the sitting bones anchor and dig down into the knife edges of both feet. Take a breath in and step your left fingertips off your mat to the side. Reach up with your right arm and gaze up with both eyes. You can bend the left elbow and start to go into a side body stretch. Draw the right shoulder down your back. One more breath in, reach out. Now, as you exhale, pivot forward with your heart. Keep the spine reaching long, sitting bones rooting, and then drop your fingertips down in front of your shins. As you inhale, pull back on the fingertips, reach your heart forward towards your thumbs. And as you exhale, bow down into your depth. Take this easy. It does not have to be the deepest sensation right away. Continue the circle, step the right fingertips off your mat to the side, then reach up with the left arm, plug left sitting bone into the earth and create a side body stretch to the other direction. Right waist is cinching a little bit so that the left side body can expand. Breathe in here. Now, as you breathe out, circle the left palm all the way down to the mat. Start to pivot your torso to face toward the side. Press into your palms, lift both knees away from the earth, and then spin your toes to point all the way to the original back of your mat. So we're finding a fold with the feet about as wide as the mat or maybe a little wider. And then just bow down, release the chest, relax the crown of your head toward the earth. Take a breath in and find a halfway lift in the spine. Iron it out. Then, as you exhale, press the left palm down beneath your face and peel your heart open. Right arm goes all the way up toward the sky. And try to keep the hips aligned and level. Both sitting bones are pressing back. One more inhale here. Twist yourself open. And then as you exhale, calm down. Right palm roots. Breathe in, stretch out halfway. And breathe out, twist it open. Left fingertips go up toward the sky. Try to feel, even as you twist, that you're growing longer through the spine, reaching evenly through tailbone and crown of head. Then revolve the right ribs toward the left ones. One more breath in. And as you exhale, fold all the way down. Draw your hands to your waistline. Take an inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, press straight down through your feet and rise all the way up to stand. Lift your toes and then pivot your feet to point out, the toes to point out. So the heels are gonna stay rooted. And then as you breathe in, circle the arms all the way up overhead, gaze up towards your palms. As you exhale, sink deeply down into the legs, into goddess, palms to prayer. Feel both sides of your pelvis dropping evenly. And try to keep the knees widening so that they're tracking straight out over the middle toes. Next breath, drop the right elbow down to the top of your thigh and then circle your left arm all the way up and over your ear. Shoulder stays plugged in. You can stay here or you can play with lifting the left heel away from the earth, pressing more into the ball of the foot. Breathe in. Breathe out, rise back up through center. Keep the knees bent and then take it to the other side. So left elbow to the top of the thigh, right arm stretches all the way up and over your ear, and maybe you lift the right heel. Big inhale. As you exhale, come back through center. Stay low in your seat. Reach both arms overhead. And then exhale, press down, rise all the way back up to stand. Draw the legs towards straight. Heel toe your feet back to a hips distance apart stance at the top of the mat. And then take a breath in, reach up, gaze up. As you exhale, big dive down to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate. Pull the fingertips back toward the toes. Stretch your inner thighs back, crown of head forward. Exhale, plant the palms and step to plank. Press the earth straight down through the center of both palms. Keep the heels hovering over the balls of your feet. You can stay here just holding a plank or press more into the left foot, and as you inhale, reach your right leg up to hover away from the earth. Holding here for 3, for 2, 1, and switch. Right toes down. Inhale, left leg floats. 3, 2, 1, and softly step the left toes back down. Breathe in, shift forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana, elbows hug in. Then sink your hips, your heart, and your chin all the way down to the mat as you untuck your toes. Spread your arms out wide to the side so they come out like a T from the shoulders. As you inhale, first, press into the tops of your feet and your toenails. Lift up the fronts of your thighs. Press your pelvis into the earth and then let your heart and your arms float. Imagine that the earth or the air underneath your palms is solid so that you could press into it and then use that press to lift your heart higher. Stay here, or you can float the tops of your feet and the tops of your thighs away from the mat as well. And then be like a star bursting open in every direction, back through the toes, out through the fingers, forward through the heart. One more inhale. As you exhale, plant your palms beside your ribs, curl your toes under at the back of your mat. Create a cow tilt in the spine, so lift the tailbone, reach your heart forward, and then drag your hips back towards your heels, active child's pose. Inhale, round your spine and come forward through hands and knees. And then exhale, just find your way back to a neutral tabletop here. Untuck your toes and step your right knee in a little more toward the center of your mat. Next, inhale, kick your left leg back behind you, squaring the hips so all 5 of the left toenails point down. Exhale, drive your knee all the way through to the tricep. Maybe try to squeeze it into your armpit, sitting bone close to the heel. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, left knee taps down behind the right. Inhale, kick. Exhale, squeeze in tight, contract the core. Inhale, extend. And exhale, tap, left knee down. One more time. Inhale, the spine stays neutral on the kickback. As you exhale, hug belly button to spine, knee to tricep. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee touches down behind the right, and then you can relax the top of the left foot down and begin to make circles into the hips. So it's like Gomukhasana in the legs, where the right knee is threaded on top of the left one. So notice how the sensation will change depending on little micro adjustments that you make in your body. Maybe walk the palms a little bit closer towards your knees and feel something different here than if the arms are reaching all the way forward. You can try coming up onto fingertips, or again, no rules, just do anything that feels good and loving in your body today. After you've played for a bit, walk your hands back and come to a seat all the way down to both sitting bones. The feet might need to crawl further away from each other, further away from the sitting bones, and then flex your toes and press the knife edges of the feet down. Both sitting bones are anchored. As you inhale, right fingertips come down off the mat beside you. Left arm stretches up to the sky. Gaze inside the elbow crease. Next, exhale, circle yourself forward, reach with the heart. Keep the sitting bones anchored and then fingertips down. With every breath in, there's like a lift from the toes up to the heart space, elongating the spine. And then with the breath out, you can bow a little bit more forward. Continue the circle by stepping the left hand off the mat to the side, and inhale, right arm goes all the way up over your ear. As you exhale, contract left side body, expand right side body. One more big inhale. Then exhale, right palm circles down. You're spinning to face toward the left long edge of your mat. Press into your palms, come up onto your feet, and then pivot your toes to face the original top of the mat. Finding a wide-legged forward fold here, bowing down over the thighs. Inhale, stretch out through your spine. As you exhale, just fold. Draw the hands to the waistline. Take an inhale to lengthen out halfway. And then as you exhale, press down, rise all the way up to stand. Lift your toes. Turn on your heels so that the toes point out. Big breath in. Circle the arms wide and then all the way up overhead. Gaze to the thumbs. As you exhale, sink, goddess, palms to prayer, heart center. Try to keep the chest lifted. It's like one straight line from crown of head to tailbone. Take the left elbow down to the top of your thigh. And as you breathe in, stretch the right arm all the way up over your ear and lift the right heel away from the earth. One more breath in. Exhale, come through center, other side. Right elbow down to the top of the thigh. Left arm goes up and over. Keep peeling your heart open. So it's kind of like you're pressing your upper back toward the back of your space just slightly. Big inhale. Exhale through center. Reach up with both arms. Let's take 10 little pulses here. Just baby micro movements for 10, 9, 8. Stay with the breath. 7, 6. Feel the fire activating in your legs. Last 3, 2, 1, inhale, exhale, press down, rise up to stand, draw the legs towards straight, and then heel toe your feet back to parallel at the top of the mat, hips distance apart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, big dive down. Keep the spine long and the core connected as you fold in. Inhale to find a halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, plank. Pause here, hover. You can stay here. You can drop down to the knees if that's feeling better for you. Maybe press into the left toes and see if you can float the right leg away from the earth. Now stay here, or maybe extend the left arm forward, holding for 3. For 2, if you're wobbling, that's okay. For 1, and switch. Left hand down, right toes down. Float the left leg now. Stay. Maybe reach forward with the right arm. Claw down into left fingertips. 3, 2, strong breath. 1, release back to plank. Good. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Then melt all the way down to the belly, rolling down your front body. Untuck your toes, extend your arms out wide to the side. This time, as you inhale, everything lifts. Arms, legs, heart. Pelvis stays anchored. Draw the shoulder blades together and then feel like you're growing longer and then lifting the heart. There's a constant lengthening. One more breath in. Exhale, palms beside the ribs. Tuck the toes to the back of the mat. Come up to hands and knees, and then begin to glide your pelvis back toward your heels, but keep reaching the heart to the top of the mat. On your inhale, wash forward into a rounded spine. Feel the breath travel between every vertebra, and then press your hips all the way back to downward facing dog. Feel the feet, feel the hands. Let the quality of your breath here become even sweeter, smoother. And let it spread like butter. Up and down the spine, up and down the legs. On your next inhale, root the left toes and sweep your right leg high, three-legged down dog. As you exhale, lift your left heel across your right knee towards your left tricep. Then drop the left heel down toward the earth. Flex your right ankle and hook the ankle outside of the left thigh. Bend your left knee deeply. And then stay with both hands pressing down into the earth for a moment and glide your hips all the way up and back. And begin to breathe into the left side body. So left big toe is plugging down and left pinky toe. The foot is totally stamped flat down. Start to get a little lighter onto the left hand, coming up to fingertips. Then on your next inhale, cactus your left elbow. Contract into the right side body. Begin to press right hand and left foot down and away from each other, and maybe draw the left leg more towards straight as you arc open into this beautiful rainbow shape. Big breath in. And then exhale, circle the left palm all the way back down to the mat, rebend into the left knee, pivot your toes to point forward and hug your right knee into your chest. Hold and squeeze for 3, 2, 1, and then step right foot all the way through to your right thumb. Soften the left knee down. Take a breath in, reach the arms all the way up high to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Now, as you exhale, drop your fingertips down beside you. So the fingertips here might come to blocks if you have some available. Feel that your feet are pulling together, and then allow your pelvis to just melt down and forward. You can stay here, stretching deeply into the hips, staying lifted into the low belly, or maybe untuck your back toes and begin to go into a little back bend, just one that feels good to you. The feet stay magnetized, the shoulder blades create like a shelf for the back of your heart, and then you can start to lean into your back body. If the low back begins to crunch, take yourself out just a little bit, reset your alignment. So pull the feet together again, inner thighs hug. Lift your pelvic floor to really find the lengthening through the front body, and then you can begin to arch back. Start to slowly rise out of it. Let your head be the last thing to lift if you are back bending, and then bring your fingertips down to frame the right foot. Start to glide your pelvis back and flex your right toes. Here, again, maybe the hands come to blocks, hands or fingertips. Pull the outer right hip a little bit back as the left hip presses forward. Hug your belly button to spine, and then stamp your left palm down inside of the right foot. As you breathe in, twist. Right arm goes all the way up toward the sky. Feel your breath traveling through the outer line of right leg, into the hip, the IT band, down the side of the shin. One more breath in, twist open. And then as you exhale, circle, right palm back down to the mat. Rebend into your front knee, tuck your back toes, and lift the knee. Take an inhale, rise, high crescent lunge. All 10 fingertips go up high to the sky. Now, as you exhale, start to lean forward with your heart. Reach your arms wide to the side. Come to the very tip of the left toe. Then press straight down into your right foot and glide the left leg back behind you, airplane pose. Grow deep roots down through the sole of your right foot, and then extend past the tips of your fingers. Inhale. Exhale, slowly bow your heart all the way down over the right thigh, coming into standing splits. And maybe challenge yourself to keep the arms lifted away from the mat as long as possible until it's absolutely necessary that you root the fingertips. In standing splits, check that the hips are remaining square. Left toenails point down. Think of lifting the leg up from the inner thigh. Activate the hamstring and the glute on the left side so that you can drive the toes up high, 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 high. Inhale. Stay for your exhale. Bring the nose all the way to touch the shin. Inhale, iron out, halfway lift in your standing L. Then exhale, bend a little into your right knee. Turn the left toes out to 45 degrees. Root the big toe, the pinky toe, and then the heel. And then pull your feet together until the right leg draws towards straight, pyramid pose. Again, hands to blocks, maybe fingertips to the earth. Take a moment here to stretch your spine. It's like a cow. It's like the butt is sticking back. Sitting bones are widening and the heart is reaching forward. And with every breath, take yourself in a little deeper into what you're feeling, not necessarily deeper into the physical expression of the pose. And remember here to try to have compassion for wherever you are. There's no race, there's no rush to get anywhere or to achieve any certain external appearance. Good. Begin to lift your back heel, pivot your toes to point forward. Press down into your palms and really puff up the back of your heart. Hollow your core and see if you can bring the right foot to hover. Holding for 3, 2, 1, glide all the way back to three-legged down dog. If you need to bend the knee to get there, that's great. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lift your left heel, hug your right shin all the way through to the top of the mat. The shin can be anywhere between 45 to 90 degrees, and then the left toes will crawl back behind you. Keep your left toes tucked. Walk your fingertips in to the front of your shin. And then if you can, bring the hands beside your waist. Take a moment here to hug your inner thighs like you're pulling your knees together. Really, really lift up and expand through the heart. And now as you exhale, start to fold forward into sleeping pigeon. You can come down to elbows. Maybe you involve a prop. You can bring a block beneath your head or beneath the elbows. I do find that relaxing the head to something creates this beautiful ripple effect of softening into the neck and into the shoulders, all the way down the arms to the palms of the hands and the fingers. And then again, notice if you want to rush to like a maximum depth or to a depth where you've been before. And try to avoid that urge. Try instead to feel the really subtle layers of sensation. 2 more breaths. Come all the way back up. Release the prop if you had one. Walk your hands in toward the front of the right shin. Tuck your left toes, lift your knee, and then softly step back into downward facing dog. Almost like you're moving in slow motion, like you're moving through water. Take a couple breaths in your downward facing dog. Check in with the body. You can stay still in stillness, or you can move a little, move around, explore your space. Next, inhale. Root the right toes and reach your left leg high, three-legged down dog. As you exhale, left knee comes through toward the right tricep. Spin the back heel down and then hook your left ankle outside of the right thigh, flexing the foot. Now press both of your hands down and into the mat as you lift the hips up and back, bending deeply into the right knee. Start to get a little lighter onto your right fingertips. Claw more into the left ones, and then on your next breath in, cactus the right elbow up to the sky. As you breathe out, press left hand down and forward, right foot down and backward, and see if you can drive the back leg more towards straight. Doesn't have to fully straighten. Arc your outer left hip higher away from the mat. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, rebend into the back knee. Pivot the right palm back down to the mat. Turn the back toes to point forward. Hug left knee into your chest. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Gaze down, step down. Left foot to left thumb, and then release the back knee to the earth. Breathe in. Reach up with the fingertips, kneeling warrior. As you exhale, fingertips come down beside you, maybe to blocks, maybe all the way to the mat as the hips melt. And then see if you can attune all of your awareness to the lifting of the pelvic floor. Really find what that feels like for you. It's like the core of your pelvis is being magnetized or suctioned up to your heart space. Once you've created that lift, maintain it, hug the inner thighs, and then maybe go a little bit back. Keep it sweet. 2 more breaths here. Rise back up, neutralize the spine, and then bring the fingertips down to frame the left foot. Drag your hips toward the back of your space as you flex through the left foot, and the left leg is going to draw towards straight. It's okay if it's not fully straight. Back toes can be untucked or tucked, whatever you prefer. Inhale, stretch through your spine. Exhale, anchor your right palm down, and then twist your heart open on your next breath in so the left arm floats up toward the sky. Keep pulling the left heel back toward the midline, and the right knee is like it's being pulled a little bit forward. Check that the toes remain flexed and active, and squeeze your belly button to your spine. One more moment to revolve. And as you exhale, left hand comes back down to the mat. Step into the left foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee. Breathe in, press evenly into both big toe mounds and squeeze your inner thighs. High crescent lunge. As you exhale, shift forward with the torso. Widen your arms to the side. Press into the air and then float the back toes. Big inhale, grow, grow, grow. Longer. And exhale, standing splits. Bow all the way down over the left thigh. Challenge your balance. See how long you can keep the arms away from the mat. And then let the crown of your head pour all the way down toward the left toes. Check that left big toe is plugging in. Now take a big inhale, stretch through your spine, walk your fingertips a little more forward. And then when you exhale, bend the left knee a little, turn your right toes out to 45-ish degrees, and then allow your whole sole of your foot to melt down into the mat. Really imagine that it's like being absorbed into the earth beneath you. Drive the left leg towards straight, walk your fingertips a little bit back. As you inhale, find that kind of like a cow in the spine. And as you exhale, bow in. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. Relax your mouth, relax your tongue. And begin to lift your back heel. And we'll play with that transition again. So you're pressing straight down into your palms. The back of the heart gets really, really puffy, and the core is so contracted, belly button to spine. Then see if you can float the left heel for 3, 2, 1, and then glide all the way back to 3-legged down dog, left leg high. Inhale. As you exhale, left shin threads all the way through to the top of the mat, aligning for half pigeon. Right toes will wiggle to the back of the mat. Keep the toes tucked for a moment. This really helps to allow you to feel that the feet are kind of hugging toward each other. Fingertips can be in front of the shin or beside you, maybe on blocks. Just lift up and out of the lines of your waist as much as you can. Breathe in. And as you exhale, you can bow forward. Untuck your back toes as you're ready. And try to let yourself surrender fully to gravity. Imagine that someone's gently pressing down on the space of your sacrum, the triangle-shaped bone at the base of your spine. And with every exhale, you can get a little softer, a little more connected to the earth. Lift your head, release any props that you took, and then walk your hands back to the front of the left shin, tuck your right toes, lift your knee, and really softly step back, downward facing dog. Now here in down dog, let every fiber of your body be touched by the breath. And we'll go one more round, adding on just a bit to this sequence. Inhale, reach your right leg high, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, right knee toward left tricep. Sink your left heel down and thread right ankle outside of the left thigh. As you breathe in, left arm rises up toward the sky. And then as you exhale, press left foot and right hand down and away from each other and reach your left arm all the way forward over your ear. Stay here or extend your right leg all the way through toward the left. Big breath. As you exhale, left hand circles down, pivot on your back toes, hug the knee in toward the chest, and then pivot to roll to the knife edge of the left foot, root the big toe, bend the left knee deeply. As you inhale, take right arm high, right knee high. As you exhale, gaze down and slowly step forward, right foot to the top of the mat for 3, for 2, and 1. Once the right foot lands, land your back knee as well. And inhale, fingertips rise, Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, melt down into your back bend. Any version, maybe it's a really subtle one, or maybe it's feeling more open and expansive today. Only go deeper once you've come through all the layers. Hug your inner thighs together, rise back up. And then as you exhale, press the pelvis back so that it stacks over the left knee. Float your fingertips down beside you. Inhale in your half splits. Exhale, left palm roots. Right arm to the sky, twisting open. One more breath here. And then bring both of your hands back down to the mat or to your blocks. We'll play with Hanumanasana. So you might stay right here in Ardha Hanumanasana, breathing. Maybe closing the eyes and just feeling the gradual unraveling. Maybe press down and see if you can float the right heel a little more forward. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you glide the left knee a little bit back in space. And then this is where you can begin to incorporate props as well. So you could slide the block maybe under the front thigh and just have a couple breaths here. Keep your back toes tucked for a while to really feel that the hips are squaring. So you notice that when I stop activating the feet toward each other, everything comes open and it's kind of like the left hip is spinning out toward the side. You want to keep the hips square. We'll take about 5 more breaths here and try to completely detach yourself from any idea of where you need to be. Often it helps me to close my eyes, to feel really what I'm experiencing internally without any of the external stimuli. And we're shifting the focus away from the aesthetic and more to the feeling. If you've come all the way down and you'd like, you can untuck your back toes and maybe float your arms all the way up overhead. Last breath. Circle your hands back to the mat if you lifted them. Blink your eyes open if they were closed, and then make your way back to the half splits. So drag the left knee back in, right heel back in. Breathe in here. Breathe out, step into your right foot. Find your big toes, and as you inhale, rise, high crescent lunge. In one big exhale, launch forward. Imagine again that the air is solid. Press into it with your hands, and then lift the left toes to float up and back behind you. Breathe in. Breathe out, standing splits, bow all the way forward. One more breath in the standing splits. Inhale, reach the crown of your head for the earth. Exhale, reach your toes for the sky. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the right knee. Step the left toes softly toward the back of the mat. The feet are hips distance apart. Left toes turn out and then pull back on your hips. Fold into pyramid. One more breath here. Walk the hands to frame the right foot. Pick up your back heel. Breathe in to prepare. In one exhale, press down. Round your spine. Hug your core in. Float the right leg all the way up and back to 3-legged down dog. Inhale. And as you exhale, glide the right shin all the way forward to the top of the mat. Wiggle the left toes back. Keep them tucked. This time, we'll play with rajakapotasana or king pigeon if you'd like. This is optional, so always okay to just fold forward into your sleeping pigeon like we did on the first round right away. If you'd like to play, you can walk your hands a little bit back. And begin by kicking the left heel in towards your sitting bone. And you could take the left hand to the top of your foot and just first kind of hug the heel in towards your sitting bone, opening up into the quad. Try to keep the hips squaring so that the heart is moving forward. Now, take the hand to the outer edge of your foot. So the thumb is going to come like right to the sole of the foot, and then the other fingers are going to wrap around. From here, flip the grip by squeezing your shoulder blade to the back of your heart, and then reach your elbow up toward the sky. Flex your toes a little bit back into your hand. Right fingertips can stay down beside you, or you can reach the right arm all the way up overhead. And then as you begin to lean back, see if you can bring the right hand to the foot as well. Draw the heel in. Maybe toes come to connect to the back of the head. Just a couple more breaths here. When you're ready, release, and then fold into a sleeping pigeon. And let all of that go. And reconnect to the breath. And reconnect to a loving way of moving. And we have to try to constantly find the balance between pushing ourselves to explore new edges and expand beyond our comfort zones, but to do this from a loving way with respect for our bodies and with respect for our boundaries, so we can avoid injury. And begin to rise all the way back up. Plant the palms, tuck your back toes, and then step to downward facing dog. Second side, last time. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee crosses the body. Press your right heel down to the mat and hook left ankle outside of the right thigh. On your inhale, right arm cactuses up toward the sky. And then on your exhale, press into the knife edge of your right foot. Squeeze the left side body and expand the right side body. Take one more breath here. If you want to kick the left foot all the way through and forward, you can. Inhale. Exhale, pivot, right palm down. Left knee hugs in towards your chest. Then turn your back toes to point toward the left long edge of your mat. Drop your heel and your big toe down. Sole of the foot is stamped flat. Inhale, left arm high, left knee high. Press the earth away from you. And now as you exhale, gaze down and softly step forward, left foot all the way to the top for 3. For 2. 1, imagine you're like suspended in honey, and then step the left foot down. Drop your back knee. Breathe in, float the arms up, Anjaneyasana. Breathe out, sink your hips down and forward and find a back bend. Imagine there's like a bunch of balloons at the back of your heart that's keeping it lifted. Begin to rise back up. And then with your next exhale, find your way into Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Fingertips down, left toes are actively flexed. Breathe in, lengthen out of your spine like you're taking an iron to it. And then press the right hand down, open up into a twist. Just one breath here, drag back on the outer left hip. Circle the left palm all the way back down, framing the foot. And now we have a few moments to play into splits or into your depth. You might stay here. As you're ready, maybe the left heel comes a little more forward, and maybe the right knee drags a little bit further back. Block can come under the front thigh. You may also take a block under the back thigh. And really feel that you're prioritizing pulling your feet together, or maybe left heel and right knee, depending where you are. About 5 more breaths here. And feel as you slide your feet further away from each other that there's a rooting, there's like an earthing that happens into the pelvis here. And then there's a lengthening out of the waistlines all the way up through the heart. So it becomes this full body expansion, not just through the legs, but also through the spine. Arms can float to the sky if you're all the way down. Last big breath in. Exhale to release out. Plant the palms, crawl the back knee in slightly and the front foot back slightly, and then step down into the left foot. Plug your big toes into the earth. Inhale, back knee rises, arms rise. High crescent lunge. One big exhale, press into the left foot, widen your arms, and stretch the right toes all the way to the back of the mat. Inhale to grow longer. Exhale to come down into standing splits. Lift the back leg. Breathe in. Breathe out, bow the chest all the way down to your thigh. Next, inhale, lengthen out through the crown of your head. As you exhale, bend your left knee a little, right toes step back behind you. Root the foot, turning the toes out to 45 degrees, and then find your pyramid fold. One breath here. Soften the back of your neck. Lift your right heel, press your palms down. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, step all the way through and back to 3-legged down dog. The left leg goes high. Inhale here. Exhale, left shin forward to the top of the mat, aligning for your pigeon pose. And once again, maybe you just fold forward right away into sleeping pigeon. And even if you sometimes like to play with king pigeon, that doesn't mean we have to do it every single time that it's offered. So really try to listen to what your body needs in this moment today. If you're staying upright, feel your knees hugging, then kick your back heel in, grab for the foot wherever's available, and just drive your heel down toward your sitting bone. Let this stay active though, so it's kind of like you're pressing your toes back into the heel of your hand, even as you press the hand to foot. Good. Then take the thumb to the center of the sole of your foot, and the other fingers wrap behind the toes. Flip the grip, spin your elbow all the way up toward the sky, and drive the left fingertips into the mat for a moment. Try to really feel that the thoracic spine is the part that's doing the curling, the lifting up to the sky. Then maybe left arm can rise and the hand can grab for the foot. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Keep the inner thighs active. When you're ready to release, you can come out and then crawl all the way forward into sleeping pigeon. We'll take 4 more breaths here. Big, full inhalations. Deep, cleansing exhalations. Come on back up to your palms. Tuck your toes behind you, lift your knee, and step to downward facing dog. Big inhale, breath through your nose, filling up from the earth to the pelvis. Take an exhale, sigh out of your mouth. Bring your knees down. Draw the hips back toward the heels. Keep your inner thighs together and then come into a child's pose with the knees touching. Focus your breath to the low back space as though you could breathe laterally. Relax your head fully. You can let the elbows melt to the earth. This can be more of a passive child's pose. Let the palms of your hands and your fingers soften and spread. And start to come all the way through hands and knees to a seat. Swing the legs forward to the top of the mat. Flex your toes. Find your sitting bones and then lengthen up through your spine. Grow, grow, grow. Begin to walk forward into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Like you're reaching your heart forward towards your toes. You can slide one block or 2 blocks under your knees for more support. Or if you're feeling extra open into the hamstrings, maybe you take the block to the soles of your feet and then have something to pull back on as you bow down. Keep the toes flexed. Make your way back up to a seat and draw the heels in, finding Sukhasana in the legs. As you inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, easy twist. Left hand to outer right thigh, right fingertips come down to the base of your spine. Keep lifting and lengthening. And then you can twist a little deeper. Feel the revolution crawling up the spine from low back, then to middle back, then to the upper back, and finally to the neck and the gaze. Inhale, come through center, arms rise up. Exhale, left hand down, right hand to outer left thigh. Every breath in, imagine that you're like being flooded with water, like a sponge that's submerged. And then when you exhale, it's like you're wringing it out. Let go of every drop. And then spin all the way back to face the top of the mat. Find your way down to lying on your back, however you'd like to get there. And draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and just make some sweet circles onto the sacrum. And then you can reverse the circles as you're ready. And then finally, hug yourself in really tight. Wrap yourself up like you're giving someone that you love a big hug. So forearms around the shins, curling the chin toward the chest, knees to your nose. Big breath in. And then exhale, find Savasana. Toes to the corners of the mat. Palms face up to the sky. Back of the head is soft and heavy. Imagine that you're like fresh laundry that's being laid out to dry. And then as you stay and melt into your Shavasana, take a moment to say something loving about yourself. Acknowledge yourself for showing up for this practice and for having patience and compassion as you find more depth. And now drop everything. All you have to do is rest. You can stay here even longer. If you're ready to come out, take a deeper inhale. And then spread the exhale down your arms, down your legs to the tips of fingers and toes. And gently begin to wiggle. Roll one ear down to the mat. And then the other. On your next inhale, stretch evenly back through the fingertips and forward through the toes. Long body stretch, like you're made of taffy. And when you exhale, come to fetal pose. Draw the knees in toward the chest. Relax your head and your hands down to the earth. Press down and come up to a seat. Find a seat that's comfortable for you. You can do Sukhasana or Virasana up on the knees. And bring the palms to face up on your thighs as the eyes stay closed. And now, take some time to consider how you can approach the rest of your day or your night, moving from love. How would this intention change your actions or your behaviors toward yourself, toward others, and toward the world around you? Draw your palms together at your heart center. Feel left hand and right hand connecting, all the places where they meet. Take a breath in. Sigh out of your mouth. Lift the thumbs from heart up to third eye and bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today, as always. I really appreciate you, and I hope that you found this practice of moving from love to be helpful and nourishing. If you're not already, you can subscribe to my channel down below. That really helps to support me, and I hope that you're doing really well, and you have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.